What's up, y'all? It's your boy Trey Swish back at it again with another video, and today we are talking about Xbox. And depending on who you talk to, they might think that Xbox is completely thriving, or maybe they're just completely imploding. I don't know. It depends on the person. And I'm not one for console wars, but I do like a good comparison, right? I like to talk about, what individuals are doing in the market. I love talking about gaming, the industry as a whole. You might not notice, but I don't usually have those in my videos. Those are some of my Xbox 360 games. I love the console. It was an amazing console. One of my favorite consoles, arguably, with my bias in mind, the greatest console of all time. Now, is that statistically true? No, it's not. It's not at all. But it has a special place in my heart for sure. Comment down below if you feel the same way. Now, this video we're going to react to is titled "What the Hell is Going On with Xbox Consoles?" And my question is, what is the future of Xbox consoles? Because it seems to be very, very bleak. And the verbiage that's coming out of the horse's mouth these days seems to insinuate they're trying to get away from the hardware. So what does that look like? Because, obviously, Xbox is owned by Microsoft, right? This is a video by Gameranx, by the way. But their software isn't the greatest. It's not. Let's be real, it's not. And then on top of that, the software for an Xbox isn't that great either. The only thing that's really great about the Xbox right now, if you're talking about anything that's code-based, I guess, would be Game Pass, which seems like one of the greatest deals in gaming by far. I mean, that's if you actually use it. If you're a guy like me that has a PC, a PlayStation 5, and an Xbox, you kind of sometimes forget that you even have Game Pass, and then a game comes out like Avowed, and you forget that Game Pass is even a fucking thing, and instead of, just watching people play it and you wondering are these people overhyping it, they're giving it 10s, these people are saying it's trash, what is it really? I could have just hopped on there and played it myself, which is what I'm going to be doing tonight after I record these videos. But yeah, you have to actually play the games on Game Pass to actually get your money's worth. But it is a great deal. And so that brings me to my final point. Is Xbox trying to be Netflix? And in doing so, does that mean that they're going completely digital? Because it's not the old days with Netflix where, I don't know, they might be able to still mail in movies. I don't know if they can. You used to be able to do that. I had to do that for a couple history reports back in the day when I was in school. I had to mail in these black and white motion capture. It was weird. But yeah, you just request a movie from Netflix and they would just send it to you. It's really wild. But what I'm just saying is that's not, they used to have services like that back in the day, but that's not how Game Pass works. So there's games that are not on Game Pass right now that are Xbox exclusives that are you're only able to play those either, with piracy, which is frowned upon amongst a lot of people. I don't give a fuck what you do with your time and money as long as you don't hurt anybody. But yeah, you get what I'm going. There's going to be some games that literally go extinct in the next couple of years because we're going the digital only route, or that just creates a high demand for a company to come in and make a shitty remaster. But since it's the only form of the way you could play the game, you have to buy that game if you want to experience again, unless you're going to go play on the old 360 or OG Xbox, which, let's be frank, in the next 10 to 15 years, I'm sure half the stock that's out there that's working and is still dialed in will be dead. Let's be real. Materials, they deteriorate. Shit falls apart. Shit is treated badly. People move from one place to another, and stuff gets damaged. So I'm very passionate about this topic because obviously Halo is a huge influence in my life. It really jump-started my gaming career, or whatever you want to call it, fascination, hobby, whatever. But yeah, let's just get into it. That's a little bit of backstory and kind of the nuance of what I'm kind of wondering. And I really hope that Gameranx is the video we're watching. He's the one that made the video. Hopefully he can explain what the fuck is going on. But yeah, what the hell is going on with the Xbox console? Hit that like button and subscription as well.
It's been hard to be an Xbox fan the last couple months. I mean, sure, it's easy to like Xbox games. Black Ops 6 ended up...
Actually, it's really fucking hard when you're a Halo fan. especially these days.
Being a fun time. Indiana Jones and the Great
Call of Duty
Circle
was
is
fun, and this
excellent.
looks amazing,
Game
yeah.
Pass, still a real solid value proposition no matter how you slice it. The Microsoft Games division is overall doing pretty well for itself, with gaming revenue up by 43%. Still, the vast majority of that revenue is coming from games that come out on other platforms. Or
Which
like
is a
with
good thing.
Black Ops 6, where it made much more on PlayStation than Xbox consoles. But hey, revenue's revenue, right? The weird thing about the current moment is that if you just like good games, it's kind of great. There's some great games coming out. But
Yep.
if you're watching the
Amazing.
industry, then it kind of feels like the sky is falling, especially if you're a hardcore Xbox fan. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Gameranx, we're asking, what the hell is going on with Xbox? So I want to go ahead and say, we've asked this question before. Last year, we made a video, I think kind of questioning whether or not the Xbox was safe, but now I think it's right to ask a little bit more serious of questions. The most alarming headline recently is that 2024 was kind of the worst year in terms of hardware sales for the entire history of Xbox.
Well, it makes sense because they're coming off of one of the worst generations as well with the Xbox One, which the launch of that was really bad. I think really they've had so many setbacks now that I think about it, because with the Red Ring of Death, then they had to throw a lot of money to fix that situation. And then on top of that, you have the transition from the 360 to the One, where you have, like, what's the deal with Microsoft coming out with hardware that they completely just run away from? Like, you have Zune, you have the Xbox Connect, which killed the fucking Xbox One. There's so many players that played on Xbox only, and then they switched it over to PlayStation because of that. All my friends did, and eventually I did too, because I was the idiot that bought the Xbox One because I wanted to play Halo 4. And then guess what happens? No one's on there with me anymore because everyone's playing PlayStation. It was ridiculous. But yeah, there's the Zune, the Kinect. I feel like there's a couple others that I'm forgetting, which doesn't really bear well. You know, people say that history repeats itself. It typically doesn't repeat itself directly, obviously, but it does rhyme a lot. So is that a red herring? I don't know. Hopefully not.
In 2024, the Series X/S have only sold 2.7 million units total the whole year. European sales even worse. There were only 290,000 units sold in all of Europe. It's an understatement to simply say yikes.
I'll make that even worse. That's even, put this in perspective. I have actually purchased Xbox for my fiance. I had one back in the day when they first launched the Series X, and same with the PlayStation 5. With the PlayStation 5, I had to pay, I think it was $300 extra on eBay just to fucking get a launch edition because of scalpers. When I bought my Xbox, I got that shit in stock. Now put that in perspective, that your console is not good enough for scalpers to scalp it.
In November, PS5s outsold the Xbox Series consoles 5-1. It's even worse if you restrict it to either S or X, but these are just numbers. They don't fully illustrate what's going on.
Yeah.
So what is going on? Well, all right. I know this is a cliche, but it's complicated.
There's a lot of nuance.
Right now, the Microsoft gaming division, along with the entire gaming landscape, honestly, is in a period of major transition. There is a whole lot of uncertainty in the gaming world right now. Developers and publishers that used to dominate the scene are struggling hard.
Oh, we know all about that, baby. Bingo card, he's definitely going to mention Ubisoft, without a doubt.
Ubisoft had...
Oh, was I on the frame where the text was there? I swear I didn't see it. Maybe that just popped up. I have no idea. You can fact check me, but this is not pre-watched, bro.
A terrible year
keeping it
in
raw.
2024. Electronic Arts, same boat. And just a few years ago, it would be laughable to suggest that EA or Ubisoft could go bankrupt or get sold off to some other company for parts, but that's where we are right now. Xbox, in comparison, has kind of always been on the knife's edge, no matter how well they've been doing. Their most successful console, the Xbox 360, had the whole Red Ring of Death situation, which they spent billions of dollars to keep the goodwill.
They spent billions? Oh my god. Add inflation to that, bro. How long ago is that? That's like that's like 15 years ago,
of the
man.
Gaming audience.
Wow.
And for a little while it paid off. Not saying it didn't, but other than that brief moment in the 7th generation, Xbox has always been number 2 or number 3 in console sales. That's not
Fucking Wii U.
Not winning the console war. And you might think the division was always secure because Microsoft's such a massive company, and the Xbox victories and losses are just a blip on their balance sheet. But
I do want to put this into perspective as well. Another reason, I don't know if he's going to mention it or not, but another reason why Xbox might not be selling as many consoles, not just because of the past histories and the domino effect of, you know, kind of trickle up economics, I guess you could say, but it's going to be the situation where a lot of their games are on PC. Actually, a lot of their exclusives aren't exclusives anymore. Like, for instance, Doom. Doom isn't an exclusive. It hasn't been exclusive for a while. But having the ability to not just play Xbox games on the PC and also some on the PlayStation, but also have Game Pass on the PC is huge. It's so huge. If you do not want to spend or find the best deal and, you know, grind up all your pennies together to buy a fucking Xbox, just play on your fucking PC. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the interface fucking sucks, which is why I don't understand what people talk about. Oh, Xbox is gonna be the next big thing. They're gonna transcend the console, and they're gonna fucking have the software. The software will be fucking everywhere. You can't stop them. It's just like Windows. It's like no. It's not how it works. But yeah. I don't even know where I was going with that. I don't even know what kind of accent that was. Oh, Jesus.
You know, to a certain extent, that's true. But all it takes is a CEO to come in and start asking
Modern
whether
gaming.
the whole console division is even necessary, and the whole thing just goes up in smoke. That's the thing about being an Xbox fan. There's always the danger of the rug getting pulled out from under you at any moment. Nintendo fans don't have to worry about that. Nintendo,
they got that shit locked down. Fucking lock and key, bro.
Is a video game company. They're not something else ever. Yeah, they make some nice money from people making movies out of their IP, but that's never going to be their main business. They have to make good games for anybody to want those movies. PlayStation is safe to an extent too, because Sony,
they're a video game company as well. And he's probably going to compare Xbox to Steam. Xbox is in this weird ass space where they don't even know what the fuck they're gonna do. Like, it's kind of like the Google Stadia. It's like you tried and you failed. All these different products that try to enter the gaming industry nowadays, they always fucking fall on their face typically. Which is like that's why so many people have questions about Xbox. It's like, what the fuck are y'all actually trying to be? It's like it really feels like the direction how the MCU used to be before the whole Doom theme got released, right? It was like, where is the MCU gonna go? Or same thing with Star Wars. It's like, where are y'all gonna go? It's like these beloved IPs, these beloved companies are lost in the sauce. I don't know exactly why. It's just a huge rabbit hole going down. We don't have time for that.
Always
but still,
will be a hardware company unless something very drastic happens.
Yeah, they are a hardware company. That's actually a great point. They're a hardware company, and Xbox is a software company. But they make really good cinema. They make the movies for the gaming industry. That's what it is.
And that means there's always going to be a PlayStation console because hardware is a cornerstone of their business. Microsoft is not a hardware company.
Nope.
They're a software company. It's in their name. Microsoft, as in software. Their money comes from Windows, and historically, their attempts at creating devices haven't been great.
Yep.
Remember the Windows Phone? Not a lot of people do. That's okay if you don't. But the only hardware Microsoft really cares about anymore is their data centers, which they can rent out to OpenAI.
I'll throw them a bone. They do make some fucking good ass hardware, and it's a fucking Elite controller. No one in the motherfucking world has made a better controller than the Elite controller. That bitch, it's worth every goddamn penny. That motherfucker is luxury, bro. If Xbox goes extinct, please, for the love of God, at least continue making the controllers so I can play with that shit on PC, and then make an adapter that actually works. That's not some aftermarket bullshit where it's like flipping a coin if it actually works or not, so I can plug it into my Switch and the PlayStation. Because their controllers are undefeated. There's so many different companies that try to make off-brand, third-party controllers that replicate the Elite. It's not the same. It's not. Look, just go look at PlayStation's Elite controller. Shit's so expensive and it's made out of fucking plastic.
And they just basically get to be a digital landlord. It's passive income at a mass scale, to say the very least. They've got a stranglehold on tech with the Windows business software.
They do.
Compared to the massive profits they can make off software, which costs them peanuts to distribute, hardware is a much harder problem to solve for them. I'm saying all that to get to the big point of what I think is going on with Xbox. They're changing their strategy to more closely align with Microsoft's overall goals. It's why they put so much emphasis on the Game Pass model. It's why they're pushing the new Xbox Everywhere ad campaign. And it's why they're getting more and more games out there day one on competing hardware platforms. It's why they're now showing PlayStation logos in Microsoft Directs even, and why Phil...
What? Oh my god, I forgot about that. Bro, you know how that's crazy to me. It's like you showing up to your ex's girlfriend's wedding, and then you know, having a speech about, oh, I'm so happy for you, y'all finding each other. Like, that's just fucking embarrassing, bro.
Spencer has pretty much said they're not going to bring people over to Xbox anymore with these multi-platform releases. The goal is just no longer to bring players over to Xbox consoles. They just want people buying their games regardless of platform. It's an interesting strategy for a console manufacturer.
It's smart, but it's desperate.
To be frank, in 2024, there's barely any reason to own an Xbox Series X console over anything else if all Xbox games are just going to be on PlayStation anyway, and you can use Game Pass on PC. There's nothing driving sales, if that's the case. In fact, it seems like they're almost intentionally driving sales away from consoles because there's really no reason to buy one anymore if...
Well, they make money off of fucking PCs, let's be real. Windows is on a PC.
This is Xbox strategy moving forward. It's not all bad. I mean, I will say they haven't completely given up on their consoles. In 2023, we got a lot of stories about games struggling to run on Series S consoles.
I remember
how
this.
bad Xbox's support structure was, but it does sound like things are improving on that front as well. Recently, Kingdom Come 2 devs got a lot of help from the Series S team to optimize the game to run on the S, and it actually helped improve the game on other consoles because, I mean, it runs on PC and PS5 very well. That work didn't only apply to the Xbox. I mean,
but it's a different system.
Everything's using that same chip architecture now, if I'm not mistaken. Still, it's just one more data point to support the fact that Xbox is going in a multi-platform direction, and they're not just improving games on their own hardware, they're helping them optimize on everything. As a fan, it does feel like they're giving up on the console business entirely. I mean, the pathetic sales numbers for consoles in Europe isn't strictly a supply and demand issue. It's not like nobody wants them in Europe. The problem is that if you do want them, they're actually getting harder to get.
Oh, really?
Near the end of the year 2024, Xbox's EU division admitted there was a hardware shortage, but had no information on when they would be restocked. There really hasn't been any other news either. Xbox consoles, especially the Series X, are just gone in Europe. They can still be ordered online, but if you want to get one in a store, I guess they're pretty vanishingly rare.
I mean, that's pretty, it's not that terrible. 500, oh wait, I don't know how that converts.
Especially in Eastern Europe, of all places. The European market has always been notoriously underserved by Xbox, to be frank, but the situation has gotten worse. That all points to Xbox winding down its console division. But then again, that could actually not be the case. We don't know.
I do not, I'll go out on a limb and say that the Xbox Series X will not be the last Xbox. I think we're recognizing trends at this point, and a lot of weird, like you said, they're in a transitional period. I think there's another phase of Xbox, and that phase the next generation could be the last. I do not think we're in the last generation of the Xbox right now.
Recently, an insider, keep in mind I'm putting that in scare quotes, but recently someone claiming to be an insider claimed to have information about the next generation Xbox, which according to them has hit a major development milestone. Phil Spencer has said that there will be another Xbox console, and
it's happening then.
There are rumors that they're also making a handheld, so it's not like
a handheld. That's interesting. If it could run Game Pass natively, and obviously the Xbox infrastructure and UI, obviously it would if it's an Xbox handheld. and Windows and everything like that, then yeah, this could be a game changer. But I will say that the handheld market right now is so competitive already. I don't see how they're going to be able to compete. And also on top of that, we've seen a lot of promising handhelds come out and them have issues with warranty stuff, like obviously like with SD cards, you know, kind of burning up and melting, and fans not working, and screens going out. And there's been a lot of issues with the handheld. I love the handheld industry. It's fucking phenomenal. I wish they would. I saw a fucking rumor on Twitter. I think it was today or yesterday, and someone was talking about a Switch attachment for the Switch 2. I don't know if it was attachment or what. It has to be an attachment because obviously they already rolled out the showcase of what the Switch 2 is gonna look like. But it's like a external clamshell attachment, so you can pretty much attach a second screen, like a DS, to the Switch 2. And if that is fucking real, and I could play like DS games on there, and other kind of stuff, and it actually maybe even turns into kind of a laptop mode or something like that, that's a fucking game changer, bro. That would be really, really cool. And it's Nintendo and their gimmicks, bro. It's Switch 2. You would expect there's going to be a new gimmick for sure.
Xbox's hardware is necessarily
But yeah, there's so much competition in the industry.
The Microsoft Games division is changing their strategy, though. And the thing about...
This is the problem. They've been changing their strategy since Xbox 360. That's the fucking problem. Where's the consistency? Where's the roadmap? Where's the direction? Okay, the direction didn't work for this generation, and we're not even through it yet. So they're already trying to recalibrate, get all the soldiers back together, figure out what we're doing at ground base, and then go, expand and achieve greatness. But it really... If you have exclusive games that are fucking amazing, people will want to play them. That's the whole point of exclusives. It's just like, Jesus Christ, bro. They have so many IPs that they could lean into that are dead, that haven't had a game in decades, but they refuse to. It's like you could have competed with Nintendo with Blinks. If you played Xbox, you know what Blinks is probably. That could have, bro, the whole concept of a time variant game, it's kind of like Mario in a way. It was genius. I don't know why they let that go.
Is that console sales are down across the board. Even PlayStation, which handily outsold Xbox in 2024, only did so because of the PlayStation 5 Pro, a console refresh that has its own litany of problems and underperformed overall. Yeah. It's not like Sony's been making a lot of great design decisions lately. It's possible that the future of Xbox, as we're projecting right now, is actually the right side of history. Perhaps the multi-platform shift is the right move. I think
right now it is. They lost the war when it comes to exclusives, and they lost that war generations ago. I really think the PS4 was the generation that took over by storm, because of how expensive the Xbox was. And I will give them another bone. Xbox does have the Xbox Series S, which is a great console for buying like a second gaming console for your kids maybe, or getting into gaming for whoever might be that's not like into gaming like that. A lot of these games that come out are already optimized for the consoles, which is a great selling point as well. You don't have to deal with like early bugs in the games like PC does usually. But now the S is probably going to have bugs just like the PC because of the hardware is just so weak. But still, it's a nice entry point. What is it, like $300? You could buy one probably on Facebook Market for like 120, 150, 80 maybe. Because I'm sure you get like $40 from a GameStop or something like that.
Ultimately, their goal here is to make Xbox into the Windows of gaming. Nobody's a fan of Windows. In fact, we all kind of hate it. Yep. But Microsoft has a stranglehold on business software, so it doesn't matter what they think. We're all going to keep using it anyway because there isn't an alternative that,
as big
present. I mean, there are alternatives. Linux has been getting better and better for personal use, at least. And Mac OS is better at running some of the older PC games using Windows emulators. Microsoft isn't the only player in the game, but they control so much of the market, they might as well be. And I would guess that's what they want Xbox to be. Something that we all use because, well, what else is there?
The way they do that is they get Game Pass on PlayStation and on Nintendo. That should be Phil Spencer's goal. I don't know what else he needs to be like worried about. If you want Xbox to live on, it's Xbox Game Pass. And I don't even know how profitable Game Pass probably really is. But wow, is it amazing. It really is. It's surreal. If they can get that on Nintendo and PlayStation, shit.
Problem here is that for a software company, Microsoft kind of sucks ass at making software. So without already controlling the market, they are going to run into problems. As much as they can try to make Xbox into...
Imagine you getting an Xbox handheld and it gets an update. So every time you fucking open up your fucking handheld by Xbox, I guarantee you it's going to have like a 3-hour reboot. So every time you're like, oh, I want to use my handheld now. Oh, you need an update first. It's like, Jesus, what is going on? Oh, wait, it's a Windows fucking handheld. Oh, okay. So it's made by Microsoft. Okay, that makes sense.
An essential part of their PC environment. People are gonna mostly keep using Steam because it's better. Like, it's a more user-friendly launcher. It's frankly, at the moment at least, more reliable in certain ways, particularly.
Except for you can play that game for free apparently, which is that's a nice little touch. You know, if you just pay $20 a month, you know.
Cloud saves. I have had personal problems with that. That said, if they can't control your digital life, they can at least make a whole lot of money selling their games on other hardware.
That's a great point. I love not hardware. I love having a physical copy, bro. Pause on the hard. I don't know why I emphasize that so much, but I love having a physical copy, bro. Because if I don't like the game and I bought it, I can go and sell it, or I can sell it on eBay and get a better price. You know, I was thinking like sell it at like GameStop or like a gaming store, but those are kind of there's a lot of gaming stores going out of business these days. Obviously, Xbox almost, or not Xbox, GameStop almost went bankrupt as well. But yeah, so that is such a benefit for people that actually buy the hard. Like, for instance, I wanted to play Dynasty Warriors and they don't have physical copies. Like, you can't find them anywhere. It is so fucking irritating. And there's some games I just refuse to play because I'm not sure if it's going to be a cult classic where I love it so much that I would want it forever. And that's the thing. If you buy something digital, you have it forever. And there's so many of these games that are like $70, maybe $100 in the future. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to play this for that price, you know? And there's always sales going on, you know, the Steam summer sales and stuff like that. So it will be interesting to see all these dots coming together to a graph and seeing what direction is best for them.
And so far, that gambit, that's working. That's keeping the division afloat at a time where it seems like consoles in general may be declining. Anecdotally, I have noticed more and more people shifting to PCs as their primary gaming machines. 80% of developers are making their games for PC now. PC sales are way up, console sales are down, and maybe Xbox is just following that trend line.
That could be also because there's, you know, this thing called Game Pass.
It's hard to say for certain what Xbox is going to look like in 5 to 6 years, but right now I understand why Xbox fans feel concerned. They have cause to be concerned, to be frank. It just used to be a lot more fun to be an Xbox fan when you had exclusive games and unique hardware with its own features. You had your part of the gaming landscape. It was your tribe. There was a certain amount of pride being...
Bro, that's low-key the best Xbox ever right there. The fucking Slim, bro. No red ring of death. I never had one, and I had my Slim for years. I eventually got a I think that Halo Reach edition, and that bitch works like it's brand new.
Part of it. You stuck with them through the good times and the bad.
This is heartbreaking. This happened to me twice within like 3 weeks. My OG Xbox got the red ring of death playing Halo 3, and then it happened again when I was playing Halo 2, or Modern Warfare 2. It was so depressing. I remember thinking my TV broke. I was so confused. I was like, these red lights are going off. Maybe the cord isn't working. I was like, Mom, we got to get a new TV. Like, what the fuck's happening? And this is back in the day when I'm a kid. I don't know to go to the internet and look up what's wrong with my Xbox. And eventually my dad did. Oh boy, was I fucking defeated.
Like, it felt like you were part of something. PlayStation fans still kind of have that. They have their unique exclusives from time to time. And Nintendo fans, I mean, they still absolutely have that. Nintendo is the one constant in the gaming industry. They have unique hardware. The games are just exclusive to their own stuff. They're their own thing.
There's going to be people that are watching this. If you're an Xbox fan, I feel your pain. And you might make the argument Halo, Gears, Forza. I don't want to say the quality of the games is down, but maybe it's like the culture, how much the culture really cares about those games nowadays. I think that is at one of its lowest points. Like, for instance, God of War, Last of Us. What else do you have? I'm not going to say Horizon because I don't know who even plays that. I haven't tried it yet. There's a lot, man. There's a lot. Final Fantasy. There's a lot of games that are on the PlayStation that are exclusive. And then obviously Nintendo just farms them. They're all exclusive practically. Like, if you have a game that's not exclusive and you're playing on the Switch, I'm like, why? Why are you doing that to yourself? Like, why?
Microsoft, I guess, used to be like that. Like, everybody pretty much had that model before, but it's becoming more and more clear they're in the money-making business, and you can't out Nintendo. It's just, you can't.
They could have, but they kind of, dropped the ball.
And they're certainly not here to build a community, and in some ways, that's a good thing. I mean, does everything need to be exclusive? We live in this interconnected world where, like I said, the chip architecture's very, very not.
I really do think the future of gaming eventually will be streaming video games once obviously the servers and all that stuff gets more established, but and it's just a better product once, like, obviously there's like delays and pausing and rendering issues here and there, but streaming is probably the future. And there probably will be one device eventually that can play every single game, and then it also can be like a Steam Deck where you could, walk away from the TV and play it as a handheld and then plug it back into its console, like a Switch pretty much, but a lot more powerful and universal. I think that is the future. Maybe it's VR, I don't know. I don't see how that in the near future will ever be the case with the technology we have right now, but still, they're both far out. Both of those possibilities are very far out. I'm actually curious what y'all think the future of gaming really looks like. Do you think the Xbox will go, software, Game Pass only? What do you think the direction is for these big giants in the gaming sphere?
Different. There is far less of a reason, physically speaking, to have a bunch of different consoles. And as that becomes more apparent to the consumer, you're kind of just hurting yourself more and more if you make games that only show up on one console. If you're a company that demands growth, kind of makes sense to sell a game in as many places as possible.
Of course.
Yes, Nintendo Switch has managed to sell more first-party games with more than 1 million copies than any other console ever. But again, Nintendo's its own thing. Xbox never was and never will be Nintendo. Nobody will ever be Nintendo. Sega was the only people who...
Oh my god. Great point, bro. They were so close. Like, if you go back and look at the gaming histories, because this is really before my time, and I do enjoy, like, binging retro content, and Sega was on par with Nintendo back in the day. Some people argue that they were making better products as well, and they were ahead. I don't know exactly. I haven't watched one of these videos in a while, but dude, they really were. A lot of people's favorite console is the Genesis. I believe it's the Genesis. People fucking love that thing, man.
Came close. They had it narrowed down to a big 2. There were only 2 consoles that mattered, and for a very brief time with that kind of a market, they were actually winning. And yes, later PlayStation 2 did outsell the GameCube, but that was a different market. You had 3 things on the market, and that's...
Jesus Christ, look at the fucking... Bro, look at that Sega controller. Oh my god.
It was a different market.
How did y'all love this thing so much? Ew. What the fuck? It looks like a CD player. That thing is wild. Like, yeah, the GameCube controllers, they're all 3 weird, dude. I fucking love the Xbox layout, honestly. I mean, GameCube's kind of close, but it does feel kind of odd.
on the market, and that's if you're not counting handhelds. And as much as there's some great GameCube games, it was never ever going to be the era that anybody called Nintendo at the absolute top of their game. It's certainly up there, but not at the top. Seriously, what the hell is going on with this controller?
Would y'all say 64 is the best Nintendo console?
Nintendo, but they can be Activision, which isn't exactly a heartening thought for Xbox fans, but for people who just like games, like think games are a good thing to have, it's not necessarily terrible. It's undeniable that Xbox is changing. It's not necessarily going to be a full third party. They are at least planning another console.
It says Microsoft's next-gen console plans reportedly to include an Xbox Series X successor and handheld. Okay,
well, and I expect that probably will happen because Microsoft.
Honestly, if it's as good as the Steam Deck, I'm selling my shit on eBay. Like day one. Like, I like Linux. I love the layout for emulation and stuff like that. But it drives me nuts with the Steam Deck that I can't play a lot of multiplayer games because of the anti-cheat software they have. It drives me fucking nuts. It's like I have this amazing like piece of art just sitting in my hands, and I can play these solo games all day, and it's so fucking good. But then when I go to a game where it has the anti-cheat software, like, it just drives me fucking nuts, bro. It annoys the hell out of me, man.
Microsoft is a slow-moving behemoth of a company. Change comes slow with these guys, so I don't see them completely dumping the hardware business quite yet. It could happen. It certainly seems like it may be the end goal of the current business strategy, but it's just way too soon for them to do anything too drastic yet. So what the hell is going on with Xbox? Hardware sales are at rock bottom, but revenue is up. Phil Spencer is still out there giving the PR spinned up interviews that maybe tell a little more than he meant to, like when he said that they're not trying to lure people over to Xbox. That's interesting. The Xbox console still in third place, but they also sold 3 of the best-selling games of 2024, with Black Ops 6 at number 1, Modern Warfare 3 at number 7, and Minecraft at number 16. Xbox is kind of Schrodinger's cat right now. Every time you blink, it's either doing really well or it's falling apart, because in reality, both things are kind of true. Hardware sales truly are in the toilet, but console sales are also just down across the board. And Xbox sales, they're particularly bad, especially in Europe. But for them, does it matter if revenue is good? I don't know. Yeah, it's because of the Activision acquisition mostly, or arguably partly because of the Mojang acquisition way back. Fine. Yes, all these changes are slowly eroding the identity of the Xbox, but if they're successful, it's not going to matter. It won't matter if nobody likes or cares about Xbox if it becomes the Windows of gaming, because we will use it anyway. That's something the tech industry as a whole has just come to learn in the past few years. You can have a product that everyone despises, but if they feel like they have to use it, it just doesn't matter. You've got a captive audience. It's not exactly what Xbox is trying to do, because they're more interested in getting their games on as many platforms as possible, but the more they undermine the console experience, underserve their audience, and continue to offer more to people without Xbox consoles compared to people who do, there's not going to be an Xbox audience anymore. I do appreciate the
that's debatable.
Getting the games out to as many potential players as possible. But there's got to be something to offer Xbox console owners, some kind of incentive to owning an Xbox system over something.
Well, it's obviously Game Pass, but it's also on PC. That's why it's like when you say Game Pass, it's on PC as well. And I know damn well that Phil Spencer wants to put Game Pass on PlayStation and the Switch as well. So that's the thing. It's like there's nothing unique really with the console itself. You have a couple exclusives right now that, I mean, if you like racing games, yeah, Xbox has the best racing game by far. Halo Infinite is not that great, and there's already been rumors of, and not just rumors, like heavy rumors that Halo is in the works to be remastered and then put on pretty much all platforms. Probably not Switch, because it might not be able to handle it. But hey, one of my commenters said the other day that the new Switch is being compared to the PlayStation 4, which people are going to meme on and joke about, but that if you could put a PS4, the amount of power that thing had, into a handheld, boy, I remember my PS4 just blowing smoke, sounding like a jet next to me playing God of War. Imagine that in a Switch, in a handheld. I don't know how that's going to work. That system's going to be loud as fuck. Jesus. But yeah, still, man, I'm like all over the place with this this whole topic, man. It's a lot of nuance.
Because right now there's practically nothing. The whole, it's got a better video player than the PS5, and
What the fuck? What?
It's where your game library is just at. It's not good enough anymore. Or maybe it is, but...
That is a great point. The amount of games, because Xbox 360 was predominantly a physical disc era. I know there was a capability of buying games online and a lot of like DLC stuff, and there was a lot of free games out there too. I think the store went down already though, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, so with the next era, there was a lot of games that the next generation, a lot of games were digitally downloaded. That's kind of when I feel like it wasn't introduced, but that's when it was like probably a 50-50 split between physical discs or digital copies. And so there is a lot of people that kind of transition into digital copies, and they have a huge library of games that transfers over every generation, which is amazing. Like if you think about like you doing that with a Nintendo product, it doesn't do that. Something simple like that, it doesn't do it. And PlayStation has always had bad backwards compatibility to begin, like when you compare it to Xbox to begin with. So that is actually a huge factor of why people will prefer Xbox over the rest. And on top of that, you have, if you have Game Pass, all your games that you own, and then Game Pass will be all merged into one under the playable tab, which is insane. And you can just scroll for a couple minutes. It's like you're at fucking Blockbuster. Like if you were a kid and you went to Blockbuster and rented a game, you thought, oh, maybe in the future I could just like have all these games like and access them from home and buy them online or play them for like what? It is truly a great experience for sure. And that is something that PlayStation just doesn't have. Like the free games they're offered is ridiculous. It's laughable. And then on top of that, like you can get a couple gems here or there. And then the I guess Game Pass subscription model, it's barely viable, in my opinion, at least.
Maybe their mostly digital push is the right move. I don't know.
It's
hard to say right now. It's kind of why
not.
it's so tough
It is.
to talk
It's
about
not.
Xbox
Fuck.
right
I don't
now.
know.
Unless you're a real deep insider with more knowledge than, I mean, anyone outside is going to have. It's hard to say whether they're doing the right move or not. In fact, I'll bet a lot of those people have no idea because you can't know the future. And it's particularly hard to know the future when you don't know what their plans are. Do they know what their plans are? Nadella might just completely change his mind and axe the entire division at any moment. It's crazy out there right now.
Yep.
Realistically, I don't expect that to happen. That would be a tremendous waste of acquisitions of companies, billions of dollars over the last 5-6 years. But I do expect more Xbox games on PlayStation and Switch, which is great if you own those consoles. Not that great if all you have is a Series X. That's
If Elder Scrolls is exclusive to Xbox and they push Halo and everything else, I don't know. I feel like they do need more exclusives, honestly. There's games that you can't do that with, obviously, like Call of Duty and stuff like that, where the game thrives off of cross-platform performance. But single-player games, like, I really think PlayStation has nailed it with the model that they have. Now, the PS5 has dropped the ball tremendously with the live service games and a lot of decisions that they made, which is shocking. Like, this was the generation for Xbox to make big moves, capitalize on big name games that they dropped, and pretty much make the competition a little bit closer. They really could have done it, but they dropped the ball with huge releases, like Starfield, for instance. That was like Redfall. There's so many games that they dropped the ball and hyped up so much, where it's like, what are you doing? Like Halo. Motherfucking Halo, bro. Goddamn. There's they if Xbox fails, it's on them. It's not on anybody else. They completely fucked up.
kind of the running theme of this video, huh? Everything
they had the
Xbox
opportunity, they had the
doing
path.
might be great for the gaming industry at large, but kind of feels like Xbox fans are getting left in the dust. What do you think, though? Leave us a comment, let us know. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week.
This is
The
a
best
great
way to
video,
see
man.
them first is a course of subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications.
I'm not
And as
subscribed.
always, we thank you so much for
No, I am.
watching this one. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter and book me on Cameo at Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time right here on Gameranx.
Great video by Gameranx. Wow. What do I need to do? I need to go take a fucking chill pill because I'm about to get my Xbox 360 and throw it through a fucking window. Let's look at the comment section below, though. Let me chill out. Hopefully. When I was a teenager, I got an Xbox 360 solely to play Halo 3. Exactly. Oh, the good old days. I played it at my friend's house one time and instantly was hooked. Good old days. Dude, I remember traveling to my friend's house and always bringing the 360 and four wireless controllers. Two of them, the buttons were fucked up and the sticks were fucked up, but it didn't matter because everyone wanted to play. It was so much fun having LAN parties, do the sleepovers and playing like the campaign. Oh, dude, playing the campaign with my buddy all night long on Halo 3, it was so good. Like, there was so many of my friends that were PlayStation guys or Nintendo guys or didn't play any video games at all. And me bringing that console over in my big ass backpack with, you know, just either Halo or Modern Warfare 2 or both of those games and just playing through the campaigns, getting them hooked on it. And then them be like, hey, bro, we need to have another sleepover. Let's play the game you were talking about earlier. That you said that was like the lead up to this one. I want to know more about Halo. And we would go and play Halo 2 and Halo 1. Oh my God, it was so fucking awesome, bro. It was so great. I really wish I could relive those days. I feel like the selling point of a console was the couch co-op. Exactly. When I had a 360, almost every game could be split screen. Now it's a rare to have a game that supports split screen. I loved having people over and playing with my dad and just going through waves of Hordes and Gears 2 or screwing around in Halo Forge. Everyone in the room having fun, talking about the game, life, and cracking jokes. Gaming now feels so isolated. It really does. It's so sad. And the reason they did that, it's because the gaming industry, literally all they thought about was how to make as much money as possible. And it's like, oh, well, if you can't play with your friends, then you have to play with your friends online. And if the only way they can do that is if they buy our console as well, and they buy our games as well. And then boom, both of y'all purchased the items needed to play these games together, and now y'all can play together. Well, guess what happened? Some of my friends didn't want to do that, and so I don't play with them anymore. It's so sad. I really wish they would bring back co-op, and it's like, well, these motherfuckers in Halo, bro. The fucking 343. Oh, we'll never launch a game without co-op again. Motherfucker lying and spitting in our face, bro. It's fucking crazy. I'm not gonna forget that shit. I don't even give a fuck if you change your name to Halo Studios. Like, it's bullshit, bro. Series X quit resume means I can turn off the power mid-game or let the kids play their profile, and my games are saved in memory to be resumed sometime months later. Series X, best console for the dads. It's funny because quick resume barely works, bro. That motherfucker barely works. You go back into a game and it'll be lagging, like, oh, let me close out the game. It's like, really, bro? Really? It's usually always the multiplayer games, but still. Honestly, this whole industry is putting me off gaming. Just care about the products you ship, care enough to know your audience and not to bleed every dollar out of them. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I feel like times are rough out here right now. It's rough in the States, it's rough in the UK, it's rough in Canada, it's rough a lot of places, man. It really is. People aren't making as much as they used to, and on top of that, people have to spend a lot more money for daily necessities, and gaming, like, is it a necessity? For some people it is. It's like the pastime. I mean, you would get more hours for the dollar you spend for sure, but still, like, there's gonna be a drop off. It's not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna play all these new games every year. It's gonna be like, I'm gonna pick one or two new games and like play through my backlog. That's it. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of sales dropping, and I think we're seeing that currently, and it's hilarious to see it also because it's like, so a lot of these gaming developers, they make it so easy for you to pick and choose what games you actually want to play. Like, you're just making it so obvious now. Just all this modern gaming bullshit. Last comment I'll read. I'll never understand how the name Xbox Series X made it more than 5 minutes in the boardroom meeting. Yeah, well, you could say the same thing about Xbox One. Like, really? Xbox One? It's the third generation of your console, and you're gonna pick Xbox One. What happened to fucking 720, bro? Come on, bro. I remember the fucking the YouTube videos on the 720 back in the day where it had like wireless charging for the controller, and you could put like 4 or 6 discs in that at one time. And oh, bro, I was like, Xbox is finna kill it. And then when I saw the Xbox One, I was like, I guess I gotta buy this to play Halo. Okay, it's gotta connect. Okay, all right. Oh, that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, bro. Wow, I'm very passionate about this topic, obviously because Halo influenced me so much, but there's so many great Xbox exclusive games back in the day on the OG and the 360. I'm for sure going to be going, I'm going to start streaming more often. I don't know how it's going to work. Like, my computer's a 1660 Super. That's the card I got. And we are buffing up the system, hopefully the next 3 months or so. But yeah, I'm not going to be able to like record at the same time. So I'm going to have to pull the gameplay with the Twitch VOD and upload it to YouTube. I might not even be able to upload it to YouTube, honestly, if it's so choppy. So we'll figure it out. But I do want to start playing some video games with y'all either late at night for me, or like really late, like almost like early morning, or on the weekends. So I'm still trying to figure all that out. You can also look at the description. There's a Discord now. You can join that Discord. We can chat about video games, whatever it might be, bro. And also the biggest thing, we're going to do recommendations for reacts to videos and ideas for videos, and just have a good old time, man. So yeah, check that out. Like the video, help push it out to more people. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below, because there's a lot of different topics. I ramble a lot. I love to speak my mind. I'm passionate about this shit, and I love replying to y'all in the comment section below. A lot of y'all already know this. We've had a couple back and forths, which is always fun. But yeah, man, I hope you liked the video. My name's Trey Swish. This is the Ether. I'm not the Ether. We're the Ether. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.